Here's my flag.
Yeah.
You know where this? I do have on a flag suit.
Well, yeah, but I have on my TV1 shirt and I have on my shirt dedicated to two groups that do not like the President of the United States. Black Americans who think he isn't doing much for them, and the state of Nevada. And it wasn't intentional. It's just, I thought we were going to be green screening today, so I wore something that I knew that I could wear, so. I know, I'm shedding, I love to eat crackers and cheese. I'm German, so I tend to do my crackers. But part all this about is the fact that we're celebrating Labor Day, the 6th of September.
It's the 6th of September, right?
Yeah, because
and it happens the first Monday of every September.
You know, if the Jerry Lewis Telethon is on.
Well, actually, you know what? We didn't even do the beginning.
I know, but we will now. But no, we're telling people, but this is old Kim. Yeah, she's coughing.
And this is not a spring chick.
I know, it's like I can.
And today we're talking about Labor Day.
I know. I'd be wearing my glasses except for the fact I can't see that. I have a problem with my eyes. Once you get, I can see really well here and I can see out there, but right here.
Oh, well, you can move it over like this.
No,
well,
no, but I bend over a lot because it gives me more stable things. But you have to be able to see it too.
I can see it fine. See, most of us for Labor Day, we think of it as, okay, it marks two things. One is many think of it as the end of summer. Not actually, but they think of it as the end of summer, and they think of it as the beginning of the school year.
Yeah, and basically the first Labor Day was celebrated in the United States September 5th. 1882 in New York City, became a federal holiday in 1894 following the deaths of a number of workers at the hands of the U.S. military and U.S. Marshals during the Pullman strike. President Grover Cleveland, actually a Democrat, put as a priority to reconcile with the labor industry. Well, no, the problem was the guy that ran the Pullman strike was an anarchist. He wanted to overthrow the government and use the labor movement to do it. So that's why they got shot at.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah, because generally, we're talking if you got a Democratic government, President of the United States, and there's a labor strike, they almost always support the laborers against the business, even though if they put the business out of work. Mm. I will tell you flat out, my father came back after World War II. My father was offered a job at one of the largest, you got to be a communications person, he was offered a job in communications at one of the largest shipbuilders in the United States. Well, the people in the unions decided to go on strike. We want more money. Well, they were getting more money because they increased everybody's salaries, but they wanted more money on top of that. So the guy said, I treat everybody fairly, shut the business down, and then they tried to destroy the place because he basically folded the business. So
hey, that sounds like current day stuff.
That sounds like current day. But fearing further conflict, legislation making Labor Day a national holiday was rushed through Congress unanimously and signed into law a mere 6 days after the end of the Pullman strike. Basically, that's called kissing the ass of people. Mm-hmm. I mean, but anybody want to remember that what was funny, if you think about it, Republicans ran to Congress.
Oh, really?
So they had a Democratic president with a Republican Congress, so it's amazing how many pieces of legislation go through Republican Congresses, not Democrats. Mm. But basically, the date was chosen as Cleveland was concerned that aligning an American labor holiday with International May Day celebration would stir up negative emotions linked to the Haymarket affair. Well, yeah, that was another bunch of anarchists. We got to remember, I was a union member once. Mm-hmm. I got screwed like about, you would not believe how much money I got clipped for. They built a real beautiful building with my money, and they contributed a lot to the Democratic Party.
And what did you get?
Oh, I never got the money that I had put away for my pension. Mm-hmm. I remember when people said, well, the United States government protects your pensions. Well, under this president, yes. Not under other presidents. They just basically, we spent $14 million of the union, of the pension plan to build our brand new building.
That's not what the pension plan is for.
And we spent $30 million to elect people to office so to make certain that abuses wouldn't happen like we did to you. Yeah, they basically, everybody knew. They fired everybody, the pension plan had been looted. They sold the union headquarters to pay off debts. And the union is gone. But and so the little unions don't really count. If little unions aren't affiliated with big unions, you might as well forget it in this country. But basically here, the form for celebration was outlined in the first proposal. And basically, we even got a federal proposal. A street parade to exhibit the public the strength and the spirited course of the trade and labor unions, followed by a festival for the workers and their families. This is the pattern for Labor Day celebrations.
Which means eat, drink, and be merry.
Yeah, and that's why you have a 3-day. Feds gave us a 3-day holiday for union workers.
Well, and most people, what do? They eat and they drink.
And they go to their jobs.
Yeah.
Because in a modern world, you can't afford to take off the holiday now. Because with, like I said, with 17% unemployment, not 9.6, you basically, they said that people are being laid off from businesses that are prospering because of the fact that they're afraid of what's coming. And they're afraid of what's coming because, unfortunately, the labor movement is in directly control of a lot of our businesses now. And the businesses are going down the toilet.
Well, you know what? The one good thing about Labor Day is it's a national holiday. So if you're in a union, you get more money.
Yeah, you get much money. I mean,
right?
Basically, it's a celebration as is symbolic in the summer. The holiday is often regarded, like she said, as a day of rest and party. Speeches are political, demonstrations are more low-key than May 1st Labor Day. Not anymore. I've never seen a Labor Day celebration in this country where politicians weren't out politicking. Remember the elections in less than 2 months.
I know, so they're out politicking
I mean,
right now.
we're talking right, left, independent, socialist, anybody that got a, you know, they're basically, okay, here's hot dogs, beans, and corn on the cob, you know, and the guy out there, guys that basically, we're talking, guys in a $500 suit, $1,000 hairdo, are sitting there with their sleeves rolled up and their tie off and an apron on, dishing out beans and hot dogs and stuff to people. And you know, he's got the support such and such for president. They're giving out these buttons in a line too. And they have tents. I mean, we have states where basically this is the start of the political season. They have tents set up in some areas where the labor unions and their families all come in. You know, that's how they can gauge interest because. Oh, like we have a McCain tent, we have a Hillary tent, we have a Kerry tent, we have an Obama tent, and now whoever comes in, the problem to understand is that most of the people that go to these events are not union anymore. So they go to all the tents to get as much, well, you know, he's got a hit, you know, the apple and cherry pies are far better over at the Obama tent than they are at the Kerry tent. And the fried chicken is better over at the Palin tent.
Isn't that a good enough reason to go out?
That's why they go to, and it's free food. I mean, politicians throw free food around like you cannot believe on Labor Day. I mean, so there's something that people don't. It's just, it is the opposite of what they think. It is more political than you can believe.
And then there's also a lot of people that think, oh yeah, it's football season.
Yeah.
Right.
I know. Basically, until 2004, the NASCAR held its Labor Day race on it. You know, the NASCAR 500 was held. You know,
really?
Yeah, like that. Families with school-age children take it as a last chance to travel for the end of summer recess.
Well, it also depends on when their school started because some of the kids have already been in school for a couple of weeks and some aren't starting until after.
Yeah, a lot of schools are starting earlier now. So they get out earlier and they start earlier. The problem was this was a tradition when they, which was funny, at one time they were, you know, the majority of the labor force was all union. Today the labor force is like 11–12%. And most of that's government workers, folks. So the unions no longer have the clout they had before, but we still celebrate the holidays. Just like holidays evolve. because they become commercial endeavors. I mean, food is on sale now, drink is on sale now, clothes is on sale. They got auto, they're having their traditional Labor Day auto sales because it marks the start of the, we clean off our shelves this weekend, next weekend you can buy, well, the new cars are sitting on the lots right now. For the cars to be sold next weekend, they're all sitting on the lots today. So you go over and say, well, why do I mean, I can tell you that. We're going to thing, they've already been told, don't buy the 210 model, the 211 model, which is sitting on the same lot, is superior to the 10 model, and it's cheaper.
Yeah, so how are they going to sell the old one?
They're not going to sell the old ones because that's what's going on right now. But school supplies are traditionally really, and school clothes. It has become a commercial holiday, which, like I said, very few people are off on Labor Day anymore. We go look at the stores, the pet food stores, we're pet stores. Well, we're open until 9 o'clock on Labor Day. The 99 cent store we go to, we're open normal hours on Labor Day. All the food establishments, we're open normal hours, 24 hours around the clock. The department stores, we're open normal hours on Labor Day.
I think the only people that are closed is what? Banks, federal buildings,
and
post office,
state and federal and banks and Wall Street. Those are the only things that close now.
But retail, I mean, any day of, because part of it is they're on holiday.
All retail and virtually all construction business and
like Wall Street.
Wall Street is shut down, but you're building houses. You're not building automobiles because they get that off. You're not building steel for them because they get that off. The traditional unions have those days off because they basically, it is a big deal. They go out in their Labor Day marches and they have their Labor Day parties. It is the one time a year that, like the AFL-CIO, all these other unions all have to get people together at one spot and one time to, eat, drink, and be merry. Because there's nothing to eat, drink, and be merry about during most of the rest of the year. Because they're basically fighting continually to make money. The layoffs are worse in the union sector than they are in any other sector because they figure that, I think virtually nobody cares about how much hourly money they're making. It's the benefit packages that are killing people.
Yeah.
They don't care. I figured I once belonged to a union that they paid people $175 an hour in the specialized trades.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, that's, but it wasn't the $175 an hour. It was the fact that you had to be paid for X amount of hours, whether you worked those hours or not. You had so many breaks, you had this, you had that, and it was the benefit package that basically chased everybody out of the business.
Oh.
So, maybe if you make $175 a week now in that business, you're doing good. Because there's no one here, but that's the history. Well, she was in the grocery business.